I got a crazy woman that lives in my building. She's not full on crazy. She's just one of those, like, just female crazy in the sense that she's like a single mother. Her husband very smartly left her, and she has 3 sons that she screams at for about 2 hours a day. She just like every day pretty much, she just screams top of her lungs at her children every day. And very similar to my first wife, just abusive and emotionally immature and over the top and disgusting. Anyways, I've had a couple of interactions with her, but they haven't escalated. Like, she told my wife keeps her stroller, the baby stroller, on the first floor, flush against the elevator doors, so it's not in anyone's way because it's up against the elevator. And I should probably point out, the elevator in our building doesn't work. We live in a building that has an elevator, but the elevator does not work, and it never will work. They just decided it's not worth the price of upkeep, because our building is only like 6 stories high, so it doesn't really need an elevator for 5-6 stories. And anyway, so yeah, she told us, she didn't tell us, because she never speaks to me or my wife. She told our son to pass along the message that we shouldn't leave our stroller there. So what I did was I went to every other neighbor and said, is it okay? And every other neighbor said, yeah, it's fine, of course. Because my wife's not going to walk down a bunch of flight of stairs carrying a baby in one arm and a stroller in the other. You know what I mean? Like, that's just dangerous. Like me walking in the middle of the street. So all the other neighbors are fine with it, so I ignored her, and she let it drop. We still keep our stroller there. So I guess technically we won that one. And then, what else was there? I think there was... Oh, she told me how to park my scooter. She told me don't use the side stand, use the center stand. And the side stand is called a parking stand, and the center stand's other name is the maintenance stand. Do you know why? Because when you park a scooter, you're supposed to use the side stand, because that's the parking stand. And the center stand that this scooter's on is for when you're changing the oil or fixing it or swapping off a tire or something. It's for maintenance. Anyways, so she tells me don't use the parking stand, use the maintenance stand when you park. And I'm like, I'm a motorcycle expert, lady. And she didn't like me not listening to her advice. Anyways, so fast forward to now. I come home one day, and I was going out one day, and there was a note not stuck on my scooter. It was in my scooter pocket. Scooters have a pocket in the front here. So there was a note in my pocket on a piece of A4 paper, and the note said, it was Chinese. I got someone to translate it. It said, don't move other people's scooters. Don't touch other people's property. Don't move other people's scooters. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, this is such a weird letter for me to get, because I agree with that. I don't think you should move or touch someone else's motorcycle or scooter. And my scooter has been moved many times in front of my apartment building. When I say many, yeah, at least, I don't know, say like once a month, I come outside and my scooter's been moved a few inches in one direction or another. And it's fairly normal in Taiwan, because maybe someone wants to fit in beside you, or someone thinks you're a little bit too close to their doorway or something, or they like to park their scooter under their window, and they don't like it when you park there, so they just move you over a little bit. It's not the end of the world. I don't like it, but I'm not going to be writing notes to stick on everyone's doors like a psychopath. Anyways, so I found this confusing, so I put a big question mark on it, and at the bottom I wrote what and talk to me in capital letters, and I put the note near the door so whoever lives in my building would see my response. The very next day I come outside and there's a note in my scooter again, and the new note says, like, I guessed it was her, like I didn't know for sure because she didn't sign the letter or anything. But I guessed it was her, and I was right, because the second note says, on this date, you moved this scooter, and she writes her license plate, when you were carrying large bags. And I'm like, I know that date, because that's the date I helped my wife go to the airport. And yeah, and like, she's so crazy that she literally writes the reason why I moved her scooter in the note telling me not to move her scooter. And the reason was that she was blocking the doorway to the building. And I was carrying luggage. I was carrying suitcases out through the door, and her scooter was blocking the doorway. So my options were move her scooter over or knock it over with a suitcase. Like, let's say, for example, this is the door to the building. As long as her front tire is to the right of these stairs, like if her front tire is here and then the handlebars stick out a bit and mirror, I'm okay with that. It's like, that's okay. Technically, the main center line, the main body of the scooter is to the right of the doorway. That's okay. It'll stick in front of the doorway a little bit. But no, she had like her front tire here. Her front tire was like, this is the same size as the building the doorway. This is the same size doorway as the one from my apartment building. Her scooter is parked with the front tire here. So her handlebars are sticking out to like here. So just to leave the building, you almost have to turn sideways. Yeah, and I was carrying suitcases, so I moved her scooter over. And then she leaves me a note saying, yeah, don't do that again. The next time I'm blocking the doorway, don't touch my scooter. I actually meant, when I found the second note, my son was with me, so he translated it on the spot. And then there were some neighbors outside, like just standing in the parking lot, chatting and stuff. And I said to those neighbors, I'm like, she's crazy. And they're like, yeah, she is crazy. They said she actually picked a fight with the police. That's a police car in front of us. She picked a fight with the police because she parked at the post office blocking the entranceway so people couldn't get in and out of the post office. And when the police went to speak to her, instead of just apologizing and moving her vehicle, she started arguing and yelling at the police. That's how psychotic this woman is. And now I've kind of entered into we're in this little feud right now. So when she left me these last two notes, her scooter wasn't blocking the doorway. This morning, I'm coming outside. That's where I am right now, outside, in case you didn't figure it out, in case you just thought my house was really big. I'm outside right now. When I came outside, her scooter, again, was parked in front of the doorway. Like, I don't know if she gave me the two notes saying don't move my scooter, and then after giving me the two notes, purposely parked blocking the doorway. Like, psychotic, man. So what I did, I was like, I'm not gonna move it because you already gave me two notes explicitly stating not to. I was toying with a couple of ideas. One idea was taking my scooter and filling up the gap that there still was in front of the door. In other words, blocking the door 100% entirely so that no one can get in or out of the building without physically climbing over the scooters. I thought that'd be funny because then I'd be like, well, I'm just doing, you said it's okay to block the door and you said we can't move other people's scooters. So I'm just, following your example. I thought that might be a funny thing to do. I didn't do that, not yet. Maybe in the future. What I did do was her mirror was sticking out pretty far. So when I walked by her scooter, I folded her, I bent the whole mirror and arm like that. So just with my arm, I bent her scooter, or her mirror. So she'll notice that. And she won't have any witnesses. Like the last time I moved her scooter, people saw me moving it and they must have relayed that information to her. Bending her mirror, no one saw me do it. But if she says anything to me, I'll be like, yeah, you're blocking the doorway and I walked by and it bent. That's not my fault. But yeah, that's beginning of another feud with Taiwan neighbors. My wife and son keep telling me not to escalate, and I'm like, it's difficult as a man because part of me enjoys it. Part of me is happy she started all this because I think she obviously enjoys conflict, but in a different way. Men and women are different like that. Women seem to seek out conflict, but they don't actually enjoy it. They seek it out and then they just complain and whine and cry about it. That's not what I'm doing here. I got a smile on my face telling this story. And men are different. We don't initiate the conflict, but once we're in it, we're like, yeah, I'm gonna win this. It's like a challenge. It's like a game. Anyways, yeah, that's where we're at now. Maybe I'll update you in the future.